Good morning, folks. It's Lindsey Helson back in the building with another SPS Monday Motivation. Happy to see you guys after a great weekend of high school basketball. I was in East Lansing, which is home. Proud Detroit, but this is home for the MHSAA Boys Basketball Finals. It was a great time. Shout out to the Cast Technicians, winning their first state championship in basketball. Shout out to Coach Steve Hall. Also, shout out to the Ferndale Eagles, Juan Rickman as well, bringing home that state championship. It was a great time, great experience, and I'm glad you guys were able to see what was going on. Special shout out to Highlight Bubble 2, Juwan Nixon, my guy, with the collaboration. Great things. But what is today's topic? Why does Rice play Texas? I tried to say it in my John F. Kennedy Bostonian East Coast voice. That was the line that was stated by the president several years ago when he made the commencement address at Rice University. And what people don't know, in that line, he was talking about ambition. And what is ambition? Ambition can be defined as striving for some kind of achievement or distinction. And he was talking about the space race, going to the moon. But just to stay on ambition for a little while longer, when we talk about that, ambition is, for some, I should say, is a desire for achievement. And the second is the willingness to work toward it, even in the face of adversity and failure. Hey, who would have thought that the NCAA brackets would be like they were? After the first round, there was not one perfect bracket in America. But what I'm saying is that the schools that we're looking at now going into the Final Four for the men, particularly even for the women, is not what you would think about. But ambition is the key, folks. Why does Rice play Texas? This was an ad-lib. It wasn't even part of the original 18-minute speech, but President Kennedy had the forethought to say, we think of these things and we don't look at it. We'll say, well, Rice is such a small school, 8,000 students compared to Texas, 50,000 students. So you talk about the football program. Why was such a small program dare play Texas, a huge program? And he say, why? Because it's hard. And we need to remind ourselves of what ambition is all about. It's not always going to be easy. What the president did realize was that this small comment he made in this 18-minute speech would spark a long-time rivalry between two football programs that people at one point thought it wasn't going to be necessary. Who is this morning? My brother Kevin Marshall, man. Hey, brother. Got a chance to check out Mr. and Mrs. Marshall podcast, and oh boy, what a treat. I enjoyed watching you guys this morning. I was up late coming in from the SBS Edge live taping in Detroit at the Mix, getting some edits done. That'll be out to you guys later on today. Got a chance to catch you. I know you did that last night. You and your wife, man, have a great show, brother. I really enjoyed it. So great that let me see what I can do here. I want to let y'all know about what's happening out here, man. Y'all need to go check out the podcast of Mr. and Mrs. Marshall. It was a great time. They were talking about relationships. They were talking about the double standard, and can you have a best friend of the opposite sex? Oh boy, it was about to be some smoke in the city out there with you guys, but I loved it, and I would encourage everybody to go check out Mr. and Mrs. Marshall podcast, along with the topic we're talking about. Why does Rice play Texas? When he decided, listen, me and my wife will have a loving relationship with two imperfect people trying to strive for something great, and we dare get out here and share. And so many people say, well, why you want to get out there and talk? Why you want to put your business out? Well, who are y'all? Y'all not certified marriage counselors. Let me say they state that, but I was just at a state Senate hearing on mental health, and it stated that there's an over expectation of certification. There's an over certification in America where so many times people have an opportunity to help people, but they get bogged down in this certification thing, impacting your ambition. I want to help some young people, but I haven't gone back to school to get my teacher's certificate. I'm not downplaying that. I'm not downplaying those who go on and get those things. In my work in sports psychology and working towards certification and getting a PhD and all that. But here's my point. Just as you said, Brother Marshall, hey, these young people ask me a question. You don't turn around and say, well, let me go find somebody. You got to help them right there on the spot. It's about ambition. Why does Rice play Texas? Because it's hard and we're trying to do more. Those who played in the Final Four for the Michigan MHSA Boys Basketball Championship, they could have stopped earlier in the season. Juan Rickman his Ferndale team dropped 6 or 7 games early in the season. They could have said, man, that's enough. We got to pack it in. Or maybe it was 5 games. Well, I don't want to do you like that. They can say there's no way we can win the state championship if these things are happening now. But why does Rice play Texas? Because it's hard. Why did America want to go to the moon? Because it was something worth doing. We get so bogged down in what we can't do. We let small people, small-minded individuals talk us out of what we want to do. But why does Rice play Texas? They said Rice is only 9,000, 8,000 students. Texas is this big juggernaut 50. And do you know, prior to 1960, that Rice beat Texas some 17 times? So there is a narrative that the little guy can go up against the big guy. You know, the movie Air is coming out. It's going to be talking about Michael Jordan. We worship the Jordan brand respectfully. But at one time, it was about Converse and weapons, and those were the Magic Johnsons, the Isaiah Thomas, the Larry Bird shoes that they were wearing. That was the brand. But we have to keep in our mind, why does Rice play Texas? And don't be limited in what your ability can be when someone tells you can't do something, or what a naysayer is saying that's not going to work because they're caught up in the present moment and they don't have a vision going forward. And yeah, that vision comes with a grind. That vision comes with doing things when you only got a few likes. That vision comes with doing things to an empty room. That vision comes with all these things. My brother Kevin comes in and say, yes, as a high school coach, we have to play the big boys so we can be challenged, and it's the Izzo effect for me. All right, take that L now and be ready for the end. You're absolutely right. I appreciate you showing love to Izzo, but I saw you pull up that U of M cup on your podcast. And he was like, yeah, but it's awesome. Why does Rice play Texas? This was an ad-lib by the president. He threw that in there right there, but it started something. It sparked something in those individuals. Good morning, Michelle Mimi Watkins. How are you? I got to see O in the building last night. He stopped by the podcast. Appreciate you, guy, and I appreciate you. But why does Rice play Texas? You know, yeah, Kevin said, yeah, LOL. I watch you, brother. I see what's going on. And you got a great show, and I'm going to still encourage people to go check out the link for Mr. and Mrs. Marshall, their podcast. It was great. Real talk. You can see the love there. You can see the genuineness. Yeah, they say you was something back in the day, Brother Marshall. I get it, man. I get it. You know, you are good all the way around. Hey, but here's the thing. Why does Rice play Texas? Why do we allow ourselves to say, because I haven't done it, because I haven't seen it, because somebody told me I can't? You don't let that ambition that's pumping in your heart to say, man, go for it. Try it. Why does Rice play Texas? When he said those words, it sparked a rivalry. Somebody said, you know what? We can do this. Somebody said, I'm not going to let my circumstances stop me from something great. I'm not going to let how I grew up and what I was told I couldn't do stop me from having bigger dreams and working to achieve that. Good morning, Michelle. I appreciate you so much. Why does Rice play Texas? Somebody can say, man, Texas is a big school, man. They're going to hurt y'all. They're going to beat up on y'all. You don't want to do that. But like you said, it's the Izzo effect. Anybody, anywhere, anytime. And look at the outcome. Izzo is known for he has a record in the NCAA for being the lowest ranked seed going the furthest, beating the highest ranked seed. Why does Rice play Texas? We have to get this mindset and this understanding to pass on to our young people, to pass on to our peers, to pass on to our significant other. We are not limited by our circumstances. Just because you grew up where you grew up, just because you got treated the way you got treated. Why does Rice play Texas? Because it's hard. Because you're trying to achieve more. Why do you try to climb the highest mountain? Because there's something there, and we get so locked into this mindset of what we can't achieve. We let this thing, unfortunately, lock us to a mindset of what we can't do. Why does Rice play Texas? There was a time people said, Lindsay, what are you doing, man, going to these games? And I get to be on the floor with these young people, being part of history and recording it and putting it out there. Why does Rice play Texas? You have to remind yourself of that. I'm so grateful that the president said those words so many years ago because it sparked something, and it still has an impact today. It wasn't even meant to be. It was an ad-lib. It was off the cuff. It was in the moment, but it meant so much. And it done so much. So I don't want you guys to let whatever your circumstances are stop you. Michelle says it right then, right on time. She said, say that again. We are not limited by our circumstances. It's about the power of your thinking. You can wake up with a dreary day outside, but you say in your brain, it's sunshine in my world. It's life out here. I'm going to go out here in a second, take a deep breath, and everything I got planned is going to get accomplished with a fervor and an expectation of greatness. Why does Rice play Texas? Can't give up on that, folks. You can't let what's going on in your world stop you. Cass Tech didn't let it stop them, and they won the state championship for the first time in school history. Steve Hall came on and said, yeah, they doubted him, and they said, oh, yeah, you won at Rogers. That don't mean nothing. But why does Rice play Texas? Because you get these moments right here. Shout out to Coach Juan Rickman and the Ferndale Eagles for having several times the past 3 seasons coming to the semifinals but coming up short. He could have packed it in. He said, it's not in the cards for me. But why does Rice play Texas? Because it's hard. Why do you try to achieve more? Because in your heart, you've been blessed with a thought and a vision, and you have to nurture it. You have to believe in it. And this same vision you have for greatness, despite what's in front of you, you got to say, you know what? I got to roll up my sleeves. I got to burn a little bit of midnight oil. Now, I'm all about getting some sleep, but I've been going because I have a plan. I have a vision. And if I have the ability to breathe and speak life, I'm going to go out here and work on it and do it. Yeah, I can get a couple winks. I'll get that later, but things got to get done. But why does Rice play Texas? You got to believe in yourself, folks. Believe in your ability. And don't look to the next man or the next woman to encourage you. If you have that, that is a blessing. If somebody says, go, you can do it, that is a blessing. You honor and you respect that. But why does Rice play Texas? Because if we don't act on the ambition that's in us, shame on us for listening out on opportunities and being able to expose someone else. Michelle says, I tell my kids, don't let your circumstances dictate your outcome. Believe it and go get it. Easier said than done, but that's why they need you in front of them. New Breed Track Club needs your leadership, Michelle, to be able to tell them and talk about your experiences. But then what we don't like to do sometimes, now that's why I love the podcast that Brother Marshall had on, what we don't like to do sometimes, we don't like to expose what wasn't good, what wasn't great, our pitfalls and our stumbles. We don't like to talk about that. But that's part of your story to get to where you got to go. Why does Rice play Texas? You remember those words when you go forward, when you got to encourage somebody, or something seems like an uphill battle, or you feel like you can't get it done. Remember, why does Rice play Texas? Because it's hard, and when you want to achieve more, you got to go through that. But if you've been blessed with a thought, if you've been blessed with a vision, if it's something in your heart making you lean in, you follow that. And you believe in what you're capable of doing. I won't keep you guys too much longer, but I'm excited on this Monday. I'm excited to go out here despite the rain. I'm excited to go out here despite obstacles that may be in our way. I'm excited because I got air to breathe, and I got loved ones around me, and I have a vision in my heart. And why does Rice play Texas? Because even if it's hard, my ambition is telling me you can get it. It's for us to do it. It's for us to inspire. And don't let nobody else in their situation stop you from what you want to do. Why does Rice play Texas? I appreciate that. Thank goodness for the president who shared that, John F. Kennedy, many years ago, because it's resonating now. I want you guys to go out and have a great day, have a great week, have a great month, have a great year, have a great life. And I appreciate your support of SBS and this platform, and I wish you all the best. Peace out.